Welcome to another episode of Sports Perspective. I'm Hayden Grove.
And I'm Franz Ross. Hayden, I don't know about you, but I was pretty excited to see college football back in action last weekend.
It was certainly a sight for sore eyes, Franz, and as the college football season started, the Braxton List Buckeyes started their 2014 campaign in Baltimore, Maryland, and I was there to see how they would get things started against Navy.
JT Barrett and the Buckeyes did not get off to the start they wanted to in the first game of the 2014 season against Navy, but a different Ohio State team emerged from the tunnel for the second half as the Buckeyes eventually took control and beat the midshipmen by a final score of 34-17.
We have a lot of work to do, but we'll take this win. I'm very proud of our guys for fighting through, the second half and doing what they did.
From the opening kickoff, the Buckeyes were faced with the tough task of defending Navy's triple option attack, featuring quarterback Keenan Reynolds, and initially they were somewhat successful, allowing just 7 points in the first half. The problem, however, was the offense that put up just 6 first-half points thanks to a red zone interception and some shaky play from the youthful offensive line.
Oh, my goodness. That was just all bad. That's minus. We got pulled up quickly in that kind of situation, throw it up into, 3F.
After the interception, I was like, JT, you shouldn't have thrown it, but you still threw it. Now you got to make up for it. That was about it.
First half, we made some mistakes that didn't play as well as we would have liked. A lot of young guys, just some things happened, and then we settled in, and I thought we played really well in the second half and started to control the line of scrimmage better.
As the second half started, however, the Buckeyes, who caught a couple of unlucky breaks in the first half, made the most of golden opportunities presented to them in the second half, including a Navy fumble that linebacker Darren Lee picked up and ran back for a touchdown.
So the turning point was, I think, the Darren Lee fumble return. The fact that our defense kept everything in check, even when I went for it on fourth down, we did not get it, and we're just playing good defense and giving us a chance to go take the lead.
From there, quarterback JT Barrett found Devin Smith for an 80-yard touchdown for his first touchdown pass as a Buckeye, and got some help from running back Ezekiel Elliott, who scampered into the end zone for his first touchdown of the season that gave the Buckeyes a 27-17 lead late in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, the Buckeye defense held the midshipmen to just 36 offensive yards in the fourth quarter to close out the victory for the Scarlet and Gray.
I thought our guys were very coachable on the sidelines, though. We were able to make some adjustments when we needed to and got stops at critical times. But was it pretty? No. But did we make stops and make some plays when it counted? Absolutely. A win is a win. We'll move on to the next game, and we'll put this one behind us, I can guarantee you.
We had a game plan going in there, and everybody did their game plan. Everybody did their assignment, then we pretty much knew we had them. But, they gained a lot more yards than what we wanted, but at the end of the day, the better team won.
In his first start as a Buckeye, Barrett completed 12 of his 15 passes for 226 yards and 2 touchdowns, earning him praise from both coaches and his teammates even after his red zone interception.
He was good. I never felt that he was rattled. I counted to 10 backwards a couple of times. I didn't say what I normally would say to a quarterback who does that, which is good. We all mature, I guess. So, but his demeanor was great. He's a great kid, and he'll get better and better and better.
You never want to throw interceptions, and especially in the red zone. And then maybe you got some happy feet at times, which is to be expected from a guy starting his first game as a redshirt freshman in that atmosphere. But the positives were he managed the game. He was an unbelievable presence on the sideline. He was accurate when we asked him to throw the ball down the field, and so we were. I come away with it very pleased, understanding though that we're not going to go where we want to go if we don't get the few downs, as you like to say, fixed.
I feel way more confident. JT, he's not a premier runner like Braxton was. He's a great thrower. And once Coach Herman starts airing it out and opening up that secondary, then that'll open up for the run and things will go well.
Better at the end than it started. It was kind of rough beginning, but like I said, better at the end.
Overall, Meyer was pleased with his team's effort and was happy to squeak out of Baltimore with a win before heading home for a game under the lights in Columbus.
And there's some kind of expectation out there, you'll just beat Navy. You're like, wait a minute now. I'm just, once again, best thing about it's in the rearview mirror, and we won.
With one victory under their belts, the Buckeyes will look to make it 2 victories as they return to Ohio Stadium for their home opener against Virginia Tech on Saturday, September 6th at 8 p.m. Until then, reporting for the Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.
Despite their victory over the Midshipmen, the Buckeyes fell from number 5 to number 8 in the most recent AP Top 25 poll on Tuesday. But regardless of the rankings, Ohio State is still set to face the Virginia Tech Hokies in a big matchup on Saturday night. Head coach Urban Meyer took time on Monday to speak about the Hokies, as well as the performance of his own team against Navy, and I was there to give us the details. Following Ohio State's 34-17 victory over Navy in their 2014 season opener on Saturday, Urban Meyer and the Buckeyes have returned to Columbus and have taken a look at what was good and what needs to be improved as the Buckeyes prepare for Virginia Tech under the lights of Ohio Stadium. Meyer took quite a while in his Monday press conference to outline the many situations that arose both on offense and defense against Navy, but outside of an offense that struggled in the first half before picking it up following halftime, Meyer and the coaches were very pleased with what they saw from a tough-tested defensive group against Navy's offense.
When they say defense, your job is to stop people. And Coach Fickle and Coach Ash made a comment to me, it's the best, it's the best they've seen in the last couple, maybe 3 years even. As far as just, when it's a sudden change situation or a fourth down, you don't get it, you just go do your job.
With the efforts of his defense covered, Meyer then turned to J.T. Barrett for praise, as the redshirt freshman garnered Big Ten Co-Freshman of the Week honors for his performance against the Midshipmen.
I was not surprised at all by J.T. I thought he handled himself very well for his first start. You take away the interception, and I think he did very well.
Meyer continued to single out individual players who graded out as champions in the battle against Navy, and the list was quite lengthy.
Champions for the game. You had Darren Lee on defense, Duran Grant, and Tyvis Powell. Champions, once again, are guys that play with championship level effort and execution. Devin Smith graded out 88%, 2 touches for 94 yards. Evan Spencer played very well, was blocking downfield. He's one of the top 2 or 3 blockers we've ever had at wide receiver. Dontre Wilson graded out a champion, is 5 for 5 on making plays. Our 2 tight ends played pretty good, Jeff Hireman and Nick Vanette. And then offensive line, Taylor Decker and Darryl Baldwin. Ezekiel Elliott was player of the game.
Linebacker Darren Lee, who was one of Meyer's champions as he returned to fumble for a touchdown and made a tremendous hit on Navy quarterback Keenan Reynolds, thinks the defense will continue to impress, even with the switch from Navy's triple option attack to a more standard offense from Virginia Tech.
We're fine, honestly. It's just switching modes. Coaches say, 2 weeks behind from being our base defense, but just clock back into it, but we'll be good.
For all that was good against Navy, Meyer still has plenty of concerns as the Buckeyes head into their primetime matchup with the Hokies, including one concern that has manifested itself throughout the entirety of training camp and now into the regular season.
Concern number 1 is offensive line. We're facing could be, trying to think the rest of our opponents, this would be one of the top 1 or 2 defensive lines we'll face all year. Our offensive line did not play like an Ohio State offensive line.
Left guard Pat Elflein isn't nearly as concerned as his coach about the offensive line, saying that the group's level of comfort and production will only continue to increase as the season progresses.
I think we'll play a lot better. I'm not worried about it at all. We'll be fine.
Finally, everyone seems to be looking forward to playing back home in Columbus, especially under the primetime scope with a big opponent coming into town.
Night game, Ohio State style, which is very unique. Our players are excited. Our fans are excited about it. We got a very good opponent, a coach that I've known for a long time, and first time I ever played against him.
It's going to be huge, and I think everyone on this football team is looking forward to it.
I mean, there's nothing like playing here at night. Nothing like it. I mean, the stadium's going to be packed. It's going to be loud, and, fireworks, lights. It's just an awesome environment, and if you can't get amped up for that, I don't know what can excite you for a game.
While we have seen night games at Ohio Stadium before, this matchup against Virginia Tech should be different, as Ohio State has added over 2,000 seats into Ohio Stadium. Until then, reporting for Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.
Football may have stolen the spotlight, but there was plenty of other Ohio State athletic action taking place this past weekend, and our own assistant sports director, Aaron Yerian, checked in with the women's soccer team as they took on one of the best opponents in the nation.
On Sunday, Ohio State women's soccer hosted number 4 ranked Virginia Tech at Jesse Owens Memorial Stadium. The Hokies proved why they deserve the number 4 ranking as they scored early and often. Virginia Tech sophomore forward Bria Dixon gets the first goal of the match on a shot from the right wing, and in the 31st minute, the Hokies would add another as sophomore midfielder Candace Seifers gets an assist from freshman forward Elena Johnson on a 25-yard strike. 10 seconds remaining in the half now. Virginia Tech senior midfielder Ellie Zofel connects with the freshman midfielder Layla Gray, who squeaks it by Ohio State's redshirt freshman goalie Megan Geldernick. Virginia Tech on top 3-0, but the Buckeyes put one in the net in the 53rd minute to cut in the lead. Freshman forward Sammy Edwards sets up junior midfielder Michaela Paradiso, who gets it by a diving junior goalie Caroline Kelly for her first goal of the season. 3-1 is the final score. Here's what Coach Lori Walker had to say after the game.
You know, first of all, Virginia Tech has got an outstanding attack, and so they put us under a tremendous amount of duress in the first half. And, you know, quite frankly, I think that we had to learn to toughen up, and I think that we did that. We responded pretty well coming out of halftime, and, you know, we weren't pushed off the ball as much in the second half. And, you know, I thought we did a better job of getting in behind their line. Michaela had a great goal, and I think there were a few other times that we could have been more dangerous, but we were caught offside because we just weren't making the right run. So, you know, I think that every time you get to play a ranked opponent like Virginia Tech, there's a lot to take away from the game. And, you know, for us, this is a fantastic level for us to compete against, preparing us for Big Ten play.
Buckeyes' record falls to 1-2 on the season. On Tuesday, they'll head to Toledo to face the Rockets with a game time set for 5 p.m. before heading home on Friday to face the Dayton Flyers. For Lantern TV, I'm Aaron Yerian.
Well, it's going to be quite a big weekend again for Ohio State athletics, as plenty of teams are in action in Columbus and around the country. On Friday, both the men's and women's soccer teams are in action, as the men's team takes on North Carolina Wilmington from North Carolina, and the women's team stays here in Columbus to take on the University of Dayton at 7 o'clock. The women's volleyball team has a doubleheader on Friday in Columbus, as they take on the Auburn Tigers at 12:30 before facing off against Gigi Meyer, the daughter of Urban Meyer, and the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles at 7:30. And on Sunday, the men's soccer team is back in action in Wilmington, this time taking on Elon at 2:30, and the women's soccer team plays again as well, this time against George Mason at 2 p.m. Well, that's going to do it for another episode of Sports Perspective, Franz, and I know you're a big NFL fan, and that starts up on Thursday, the new NFL season. What are you looking forward to most about having football back on Sundays?
Well, personally, I'm a big Bills fan because I'm from Buffalo. They face off against Chicago this weekend, so I'm hoping they start off 1-0. But I'm sure Cleveland fans are really excited about Johnny Manziel, seeing if he'll hit the field. There's a lot of questions, a lot of up in the air going on in National Football League this year.
Well, we'll certainly see if Johnny Manziel brings his money phone onto the field, but nevertheless, be sure to stay tuned for another Sports Perspective episode next week as we take an in-depth look into Ohio State's first home football game and give you all of your Ohio State sporting news. For Franz Ross and the entire crew at The Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.